From the earliest inhabitants to the latest new residents, Tarpon Springs has always held the hearts of those who love the water, especially fishermen. Historically, the area around the Anclote River was populated by Native Americans, mostly Tocobaga and Timucuan, who left behind artifact-filled mounds on both sides of the river, and later the Seminoles, who were pushed south to the Everglades. Pioneering families began to settle in the area as early as 1864, drawn by the fruits of both land and sea. And by the 1880s, farmers, orange growers, former slaves, Caribbean islanders, and commercial fishermen were calling the village home. In 1887, the railroad brought northerners who built grand winter homes along the bayous and who enjoyed sailing regattas and fishing excursions, and so the population grew to around 300. 1887 was also the year that Tarpon Springs became incorporated, and the Anclote Key Lighthouse was built. Around 1905, approximately 500 young spongers arrived from the Dodecanese Islands of Greece to work the bountiful sponge beds of the Gulf of Mexico. Their families followed, along with Greek merchants and businessmen, infusing the city with Greek culture, language, and religion. As a result, Tarpon Springs grew and quickly became the sponge fishing capital of the world. From the deep water fishing grounds to the lucrative sponge beds, then and now, Tarponites have derived love and a living from the water. Then and now as well, the mangrove-lined water edges, estuaries, and coastlines support an abundance of wildlife and are considered a nursery to many forms of sea life. The working waterfront along the Anclote River supports many industries and businesses to this day. Tarpon Springs is home to at least 4 boat-building companies, Stamus, Dorado, and Gauze, all makers of fishing boats or yachts, and Duckworth, a builder of large steel fishing vessels. Boatyards with their rails and cradles were formed to build and repair all types and sizes of boats. In addition to sponge boats, commercial fishing vessels ply the waterways, providing at least 2 seafood markets with fresh catches, and a few shrimping boats can still be seen on the river today. These big boats have deeper drafts and rely on the river's channel to allow them access from the Anclote anchorage area of St. Joseph's Sound all the way to the docks, where they can deliver their goods and receive repairs and supplies for the next trip out to the Gulf. These large vessels share the river with a multitude of recreational fishing boats. Regardless of whether these smaller vessels fish for fun, food, or a paycheck, fishermen want to fish, but sometimes the how and the where can be a challenge. Pressures of ever-increasing population have had a detrimental effect on fishing our local waters. Tarpon Springs has over 51 miles of shoreline, yet public access is diminishing due to privatization of waterfront property or the addition of boulders to prevent erosion. Sunset Beach and Howard Park Causeway and Beach are often too busy with sunbathers to fish from shore, and are not available before dawn and after dusk when the fishing bite turns on. There are those who like to fish from bridges, such as the Beckett Bridge on Riverside Drive, but bridges are few and often posted no fishing, and the closest fishing pier is by the power plant in Pasco County. Still, other anglers with boats enjoy inshore, nearshore, and offshore fishing, but Tarpon Springs has only 2 public ramps, with limited parking, and which can only accommodate smaller boats. Pasco County has another on the north side of the river with its own challenges. Coordinating boat launches and returns to the ramps to avoid low tide is not always convenient or even possible. The Anclote Key end of St. Joseph's Sound has beautiful turtle grass flats that hold bait fish and crabs, making them excellent for inshore fishing. They also filter water, stop erosion of the seabed, and are a source of food for manatees. When boaters struggle with tides and ramp access to get in and out of the water, they sometimes cause scarring of the grass beds with their props in an attempt to reach deeper water. Florida has the largest amount of coastline in the lower 48 states and the largest number of registered recreational boaters. Consider the fact that roads are built for safety and to keep cars off of private property, but there are few roads or channels for our inshore waterways. Boats with props are not bad guys. Boats need channels to keep them off the shallower grass flats to prevent prop scars. While other towns and unincorporated areas have small channels connecting the shoreline to deeper water, Tarpon Springs does not. Did you know that according to the FWC website, the Florida Boating Improvement Program provides funding through competitive grants for boating access projects and other boating-related activities on coastal and/or inland waters of Florida? A solution might be to perform selective spot dredging where the main Anclote River channel is truly in need, and also to create a channel leading away from the Sunset Beach ramp all the way out to the main channel. This is one of several ideas designed to not only improve the experience of Tarpon Springs boaters, but to reduce the recurrence of prop scars on manatees and the turtle grass beds so vital to the variety of marine life that call the Anclote River and St. Joseph Sound home. People move to Tarpon Springs because of all they can do and enjoy related to our beautiful waters. Fishing has always been a treasured part of Tarpon Springs' past. Let's do all we can now to ensure that recreational fishing remains a time-honored tradition that we can pass on to future generations of Tarponites.
I love that sound. This one's bigger than the last one.
Look how gorgeous he is!
Just another day.
Oh my gosh! Okay.